I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. You all received copies of last meeting's minutes via email. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, they'll stand approved as presented. Approval of the current financial report. You've all received copies of that. Any additions, corrections, or a motion to accept?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to accept the current financial report from the auditor's office. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers.
Here.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Here.
Wright.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have approval of the agenda. There's nothing to add or subtract, correct?
Correct. Just the
And it is the revised agenda that was sent out yesterday morning, right? Correct?
Yes,
Okay, it was sent.
to include
So it should be the big red revised top.
the legislation
Right.
that was only given the first reading. That's the
Right,
only difference.
Which is item 1. Okay.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Mr. Schmidt to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Public hearing, we have nothing scheduled this evening. Anyone wishing to address the council may do so. Please come, state your name and address.
My name's Dan Cross. I live at 501 South Brook. I'd like to address this council concerning Wagner Avenue. This project's been going on, been discussed for over a year. You folks have spent over $100,000 already of taxpayers' dollars. And all of a sudden, we can't get it passed and moved on. If you didn't want to do it, we should have never spent the money. $80,000 in engineering estimates, public hearings. We need to take the step forward and move on and look for the future of Greenville, not the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address council? Seeing no one, we will move the agenda to the mayor's report. Mr. Mayor.
I'm going to pass tonight.
Wow.
Leaving it for Kurt.
Nothing about Halloween or anything like that coming up? The parade?
It is coming up.
Yeah. How about that?
Well, maybe you can do something about it. Thursday, normal. On Thursday, the parade. What is that date? I want to make sure.
24th.
24th. That's what I was supposed to say. And of course, trick or treat is the Sunday after that, and it'll be 6 to 8 o'clock in the evening.
6 to 8 in the evening.
6 to 8 in the evening.
Okay. So that's going to make it particularly precarious. That's before the time change, right?
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's pretty dark right now, so
Yes, it is.
you have
It
to
is.
watch the little ones.
Yep. I
Okay.
talked to the police about it a little bit, see if there's any concerns with them, and I always remember that growing up that it was a lot of fun trick-or-treating in the evening in the dark. So I wanted to see how that would work out. So here we are.
Is this citywide, or is it countywide? A lot of the mayors used to do,
They're both. I checked around a couple of years ago, and I called them all at one point for different things. It's like fireworks, and nobody returns my calls. It's like so. There's some that do it at night, some do it in the afternoon, like we used to. So it does. There's a variety of different times.
thank you.
Thanks for bringing it up. Thank you.
Safety Service Director, Mr. Garrison.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just a brief review of the various projects that we have going on within the city. Start with the veteran project being completed by Ritter Plumbing. They are in several different areas of town, approximately 3 different areas, with one of them being Wayne Hospital. So if a lot of folks saw the work that was being done along Schweitzer Street with what looked like a rather large gas line going underneath the sidewalk, that is Vectren relocating their gas line that has to be done because of the hospital addition. And then they're over here off of 3rd Street, West Main Street, a lot of work going on, and then east of Martin Street with more work. So just ask citizens that if they're traveling in that area to pay close attention, especially in the areas east of Martin Street with the narrow streets, their large equipment. They do their best to protect themselves and to protect their workers. Unfortunately, I believe we've had a couple accidents this year, which is uncommon. And we've asked them as a contractor to maybe make themselves more visible by placing cones, better traffic control. But we also, as motorists, need to have a heads up in those particular areas and watch out for the workers and try to keep everyone safe. With our North Broadway project, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just we're slowly getting there. Weather conditions prevent us from paving earlier in the morning like we normally would during the summer. ODOT has mandated that our temperatures be anywhere from 50 to 60 degrees, 60 degrees with the thinner layers, and at least 50 degrees air temperature before we start paving the thicker areas. So we're getting there. I would anticipate that by the end of the week we should have a majority of the paving wrapped up, and that means all the intersection tie-ins. At the last meeting, I reported to you that ODOT was going to allow us to incorporate a 3rd turn lane from Harmon Drive to Russ Road. However, as that proposal was sent up the food chain in ODOT, it met some resistance from the environmental folks, and the environmental folks will not allow us to place the 3rd turn lane. So we are looking at putting the traffic or the lane markings back as they were. So there'll be a double center line all the way from North Main Street to Russ Road. When the paint markings wear off next year, they will then be allowed to come in and thermo the way we want to and have that 3rd turn lane. The unfortunate side is that the city's going to have to pay 100% of that thermo from North Main Street to Russ Road, whereas right now the project is 80/20. It's not a huge expense, but definitely something that was unforeseen for next year. But I believe in the overall traffic pattern in North Broadway, it will definitely make it safer. One of the conditions that they did allow us to do, and it should be done right now, is that pay specific attention when you come up to the traffic light at Harmon and North Broadway. The stop bars have been moved back away from the traffic signal, and this is done to allow safe movement of buses during the day so they can make safe right-hand turns. And prior to today, they were getting in situations where cars would pull all the way up and then they'd have to wait for that traffic to go, or people would have to move over. So by moving those stop bars back, we'll be able to make those movements in a safe manner. As far as other projects going on in the city, the folks ask about street lights. You have legislation in front of you this evening to authorize the expenditure with Miami Valley Lighting for the installation of street lights along North Broadway. That was needed to be a separate contract, as it's not a part of anything Broombaugh or ODOT would have completed. At the last meeting, we talked about the Ohio WARN, which is the mutual aid for water and wastewater. It's a statewide mutual aid. You will notice that there's actually 2 pieces of legislation concerning that. The first piece of legislation will actually authorize the city to enter into the WARN program. The second piece of legislation, at the last meeting, I discussed how the city could seek reimbursement, and the rates for reimbursement was established by the FEMA established rates. However, the water department has a lot of specialized equipment. So Gary Evans and the water department put a rate schedule together based upon our schedule of equipment and what we should charge for the use of that equipment. So an example would be our service truck. our service truck has hydraulic pumps, it has a whole internal hydraulic system. If we followed the FEMA schedule, that would be built out as a pickup truck. Well, that particular truck is far more than just a pickup truck, so we would want a higher rate for everything that that truck is capable of doing. FEMA doesn't necessarily charge for a valve turner with a vacuum on it to suction out valve covers. So a special rate is assigned to that, so we're not reduced back to the FEMA rate. So that's why we have two pieces of legislation on that. And with that, Mr. Council President, unless there are any other questions, I will pass.
I got a question.
Sure.
Something, there's two signs down there. I don't know if it's Gardenwood or Primrose, one of the two, that says not a crosswalk.
That is correct.
What's that?
It's an ODOT standard, and ODOT required the paving group to put those in, or actually, they required the sidewalk folks to put those in, and just to let pedestrians know that that's not a crosswalk.
They're facing the street though.
Well, that's because if you're walking across, you see the one across the street. So that's why those were
Where was
placed.
that at?
Do what?
Where was that at?
They're on North Broadway.
Primrose.
They're at Primrose. They're at, I believe, it's Maple. Yeah, just anywhere other than Harmon and Russ that are the two assigned
That are-
crosswalks.
Should there be a crosswalk? I mean, that's quite a lengthy,
We did not put handicap ramps in, ADA ramps, truncated domes at those areas. If we would have, then we would have striped it accordingly. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Law Director, Mr. Brand.
I'll pass.
Thank you. And City Auditor, Mrs. Wellman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I'd like to make an introduction tonight. We have our new Clerk of Council with us this evening, Jessica Ross. Today is her first day. She's just getting her feet wet, and I know all of you council members will do your best to help her along. So with that, Mr. Council President, I will pass.
Okay, thank you. Well, welcome, Jessica, officially. She's taking notes from back there and then assisting the clerk pro tem right now. So we're going to let her work in that capacity and see how things go. So appreciate your time being here. There are no committee reports. We have 11 ordinances and resolutions to consider for tonight. The first is a resolution of necessity for assessment for Wagner Avenue Improvements Project. Was given its first reading by title only.
A resolution declaring a necessity for assessments for Wagner Avenue Improvements Project. This resolution declares a necessity for assessments for improvements to Wagner Avenue and continuing north.
Move to give this, suspend the rules and give this third reading by title only.
Motion, Mr. Rogers, to suspend the rules and read it by title only, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
No.
Hensley?
no.
Motion fails. It will go to the third reading at the next meeting of council. Secondly, item 2, a resolution authorizing donation of no longer needed breathing air system.
A resolution authorizing the donation of a no longer needed breathing air system. This resolution authorizes the donation of a no longer needed breathing air system. This allows for the donation of the equipment to Liberty Township Fire Department.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on that resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yeah.
Wright?
Abstain.
Based on?
I'm a member of that department.
Of Liberty Township.
Yes.
Okay. I'll grant that, sir.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
a resolution authorizing the donation of no longer needed breathing air system. A resolution authorizing the donation of a no longer needed breathing air system.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Abstain.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Motion passes. 4, resolution authorizing entry into contract for mutual aid among water and wastewater agencies.
We skipped number 3.
Did
We're
I?
only to number 3, yes.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I got ahead of myself.
You did.
Making
It's
too
all
many marks here. Next is a resolution authorizing bids for wastewater treatment plant clarifier.
A resolution authorizing for bids for the wastewater treatment plant clarifier. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids for the water plants, wastewater, it should be wastewater plants, treatment clarifier.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the bids for the wastewater treatment plant clarifiers. A resolution authorizing the bids for the wastewater treatment plant clarifiers.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
We're ready to move on. Authorizing entry into contract with mutual aid among water and wastewater. Is that right?
That is correct.
There we are.
A resolution authorizing entry into a contract for mutual aid among water and wastewater agencies. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to execute an agreement with the Ohio Wastewater Agency Response Network Mutual Aid.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing entry into a contract for mutual aid among water and wastewater agencies. A resolution authorizing entry into a contract for mutual aid among water and wastewater agencies.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Okay. Short recess.
Okay.
Backing up. Mr. Hensley just pointed out to me on the breathing apparatus, it takes 6 to suspend the rules, and Mr. Wright abstained.
He's counted with the majority.
Is he? Okay, good enough, thank you.
You got the votes.
You know, just a point of clarification to the rest of council members, you could have voted on the motion to suspend without prejudice, but then to accept the resolution, then it would have been appropriate too. But it's worked out,
Right.
but that's something for future consideration.
Yeah.
If you find it necessary to abstain because of conflict, that would be a point to consider. But it's worked out. Thank you. Okay, moving ahead.
Okay, so we are.
Where we
at
are.
KitchenAid Way farmland, number 5.
No.
No,
No.
we're scheduled, we're at the
For
schedule.
the Warren services, right?
Ohio Warren Service.
You have it in your hand.
Oh.
There you go.
1 2
That's
minute.
mine. An ordinance adopting a fee schedule for Ohio Warren Services. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to execute an agreement with the Ohio Water Wastewater Agencies. Oh, I just read that. This ordinance adopts the fee schedule for the Ohio Water Wastewater Agency and Response Network, so the Ohio Warren.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance reading by title only the second, third time.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second, third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
An ordinance adopting a fee schedule for Ohio Warren Services. An ordinance adopting a fee schedule for Ohio Warren Services.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have an ordinance authorizing the city to enter into agreement for rental of KitchenAid Way City Farm Field.
An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into an agreement for rental of the KitchenAid Way City Farm Field. This ordinance authorizes the city to enter into an agreement with Selectly Family Farms for rental for farmland on KitchenAid Way.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on that ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second, third time. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into an agreement for rental of the KitchenAid Way City Farm Field. An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into an agreement for rental of the KitchenAid Way City Farm Field.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
How many acres is that?
I don't know off the
The
top of my head,
contract.
it's in the legislation.
Oh. Okay, that's all right. I was just curious.
It's 20-some.
And what's the next one? Is to resolution to approve contract for construction of splash pad at the South Park.
A resolution to approve a contract for the construction of a splash pad at South Park. This resolution authorizes Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Vortex Incorporated for the purpose of constructing a splash pad at South Park.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution read by title only the second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
A resolution to approve a contract for construction of a splash pad at South Park. A resolution to approve a contract for the construction of a splash pad at South Park.
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Item 8, resolution authorizing entry into contract with Miami Valley Lighting, part of Broadway Reno project.
A resolution authorizing the entry into a contract with Miami Valley Lighting for the street lighting as part of the Broadway renovation project. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Miami Valley Lighting for street lighting services associated with the Broadway renovation.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call Call the roll, please.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing entry into a contract with Miami Valley Lighting for the street lighting as part of the Broadway renovation project. A resolution authorizing entry into a contract with Miami Valley Lighting for the street lighting as part of a Broadway renovation project.
Move to adopt the resolution?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Next, we have a supplemental appropriations ordinance.
Supplemental appropriation ordinance, an ordinance to make additional appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019. This supplemental ordinance allows for the appropriation in the general fund of $184,000, the future park development fund for $259,000. Both of those are for the splash pad, the appropriation for the splash pad, and then the waterworks replacement fund in the amount of $68 to get that fund used.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this supplemental ordinance and read it by title only, second, third time.
Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Supplemental appropriation ordinance, an ordinance to make additional appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019. Supplemental appropriation ordinance, an ordinance to make an additional appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Okay. And next we have a transfer ordinance.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriation of the various funds of the city of Greenville. This transfer ordinance authorizes transfers in the general fund as follows: from the tree maintenance enforcement, tree maintenance professional services, and the tree maintenance to the new planting in the amount of $1,250.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance reading by title only, second, third time.
Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules. Read the ordinance by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the city of Greenville. An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the city of Greenville.
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to adopt the ordinance. Discussion.
Did you get these at the auction, or are you just buying them?
So we're going to just buy these. This transfer is coming as a recommendation from the tree committee to redo the boulevard on Ratcliffe Drive. And so this was money that was set aside for other tree maintenance that we don't foresee, and we're going to complete any of that tree maintenance this year, so we're moving that money to new tree plantings for that purpose.
Okay.
Further discussion. The motion is to adopt, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Call the roll, please.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
And last, resolution authorizing reimbursement for bed tax overpayment.
A resolution authorizing reimbursement of a bed tax overpayment. This resolution authorizes reimbursement of a bed tax overpayment in the amount of $175.05 to the Greenville Inn.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing reimbursement of a bed tax of overpayment. A resolution authorizing reimbursement of bed tax overpayment.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
And that concludes our ordinances and resolutions. Nothing under old or under new business. What communications do we have?
Communications, we have the monthly reports from September for the following departments: street, income tax, fire, police, and transit.
Wait a minute, I missed some. There's the whole pile. Send it on. No other communications?
That's it.
We will call down the council, please.
Rogers,
Yeah, with Halloween coming up and all the trick-or-treaters gonna be out there, and it's gonna be, dark. It's gonna be called Oh Dark 30. So we need to watch out for the young ones and make them safe out there. And so I have never had to put a mask on, so I scare enough people anyway. With that, I pass.
Mr. Schmidt.
Hope you're resting well at home, Dory. We'll see you soon. Do we need to excuse absences?
Yes, we do.
I'll make a motion to do that then.
Motion by Mr. Smith to excuse the absence for the month of October. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
And I will pass.
Mr. Whitaker.
Just wanted to say that I appreciate the comments Mr. Cross made earlier, and that next meeting will hopefully move forward this project. We have given it much thought, and I think it's time we prepare Greenville for the future and try to think ahead and know that the future of this city requires that we prepare it for younger people to move into town and give that much thought. So with that, I'll pass.
Mr. Wright.
Mr. Garrison, how's the East Main Street? The complaint that I received from a couple people east of Ohio Street on speed. How's the PD doing on that?
I
Have you
can't
heard?
really give you an update. I don't,
Okay.
I don't know. Have you received any feedback?
No,
Okay.
no, not yet.
Is there specific times?
No.
Just all the time?
There is several kids that walk Main Street going and coming from school. I have no further, I'll pass.
Mr. Godwin.
Thank everybody for coming up tonight, and congratulations to Eikenberry's for their 90 years. It's a nice grocery store to go to. And with that, I'll pass.
Mr. Hensley.
I will pass.
Mr. Burkett.
Well, once again, Jessica, see how easy that was? Piece of cake.
35 minutes.
Now,
Good luck.
you know, the next thing was you come in tomorrow morning. Okay, good.
She knows
We
what
hope
to
we
do.
didn't
Find
scare you
Kim.
off. Huh?
She knows what to do. Find Kim.
There you go. No, thank you for joining. We're happy to have you on the team. And as I told you, anytime you have any questions from any of the council members or myself as president, don't hesitate to give us a call, because we'll help any way we can. So it'll go smoothly, I'm sure. I'm just concerned about Halloween in the dark, but that's okay. It'll be fun. And just be careful and be cautious. And hope everything goes well. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to adjourn. Call the roll, please.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Thank
Yes.
you all very much. Good night.